We definitely need. I must learn how to how to how to how to schedule my videos. Well, that's okay, and we do not do we don't do any rush things when we're preparing for a painting. And tonight we're going to paint this. When we start by our sections, I chose to start with a light greenish part. Those are light greenish parts are actually all boxed on this, I don't know, sticks and ready to be painted. Actually, before I started, I already sanded down most of the parts, so we save some time. We'll be using a flat soft brush. Need to gather some water. A jar, dirty jar of water. Water is clean, by the way. To move some models a little bit aside. And for this project, I will be using a purple mecha color set made by Mig Ammo. Oops, daisy. I will be using 127 for main color of Gundam body. We'll be using this one, and this one will be 127, slightly light purple. But first we need a little bit stir the paint, because paint in the box usually get a little bit lazy, and do not mix very well. We need to shake it. Inside of the bottle of Mig brand are, I guess, steel balls, little steel ball, or steering balls. I think that this should be a steel one, maybe not, maybe I'm not correct. Maybe just ceramic ones, I don't know. It's just to make it paint to be applied much more easier. It won't be very interesting or very educational video. We just be painting, bubbling something, and just shaking our bottle like a crazy, and paint a little bit comes out a little bit to original color. Alright. It's the first time I'm using Mig. I'm usually using Vallejo. Somewhere here, like those. That was very good for paint brushing. But this time I have a set of paint, and since Vallejo will be soon not available in my region, because many reasons, I don't know, it won't be available. Soaked enough, a little bit lumpy. Let's try it a little bit more, and we'll be I don't know. We'll try first. Do not no smell, no box. Should be nice. We'll try do not dilute with water, because it's acrylic, and we'll see how effect will appear eventually on the plastic. How to make videos scheduled for future reference, I have no idea. I'll take this one down. Opening bottle. Looks like a Vallejo bottle actually. Identical. And stir some paint. Quite liquidy. Quite milky, not completely milky, but we don't need first batch of the paint to be very thick. We need Oh, looks nice. So first off, I will not be taking too much paint on my brush because parts of the high grades and 3 grades, low grades are relatively tiny and do not require carry on brush too much paint. So let's see. We don't go inside the shield because shield won't be visible completely. The first strokes won't be a very something special. Just the strokes. A little too watery in my opinion, but probably it's for better. I don't know. Just a very strange feeling about this. Mentioned before is experiment, and I hope I can relate on this product in the future. We'll see. We're just going over the edges, adding a first layer. That's right, that's the first layer. And I usually go for 3 layers. And how it will work out. And this one, we'll see. Usually acrylics are drying very fast, very quick. About a few hours, maybe hour, maybe less. Depends on temperature of the vessel, where you are. Go a little bit quicker, faster. Yeah, it doesn't look very cool or very promising. I'm just adding some paint. As I mentioned, first layer, it's like a primer. It settles down on the parts, which obviously wasn't very effectively cleaned before the work, but still adds some taste to a plastic. Why I chosen this color scheme? Because original is way boring. I want to express something new. Well, it looks so very eh, but as I mentioned before, it is a first layer of paint. Never looks perfect. Never. Taking some paint, trying to stir them a little bit more. Removing excess. Don't need much. Small parts doesn't need much paint on the brushes. Here we go. Those bubbles probably because it wasn't cleaned very effectively, or just plastic is too picky for this type of paint, or paint isn't very effective for such delicate plastic. Not suitable, not suitable. We'll see. We're just adding a first layer. Many parts, about 40 or 50. It's fine. It's fine, I'm telling you. We don't want to make a lot of strokes first time, because as you can see, paint do not sit well. Go very watery type, like on oil. So start to gather around. I'm very curious about this new paint. I'm very curious because I want to see how those paint will work out. Oh, this is... Oh, it's visible. I need to remove it first. And that's a problem. I did a mistake. I didn't remove this plastic release line here. I will come back to this later. I will do some other parts. For example, shoulder armor, and go for a few strokes and paint start to gather around. That's not a good sign. It's fine, but not a good sign. We'll see how it will work out. Patience. All we need is a patience. And sometimes patience is not the best quality. Oddly interesting. It goes in strange color type, like finish, which is not what I wanted. And I prefer such a things happening only when I do a plan for them. Yeah, we're living like that. Proceed further. I move to the head. Ouch. I hope I won't lose any part. Let's take some more for the head. Head sections looks nice. I don't have much work to do. It's almost whole thing in one. Well done. Don't forget what I said before, it's a first layer. It ain't supposed to be looking good. You're just adding it like a grunt. I mean like a base color. Like a primer, that's right. Like a primer, nothing else. First layer is watery and very leaky. Still starting to dry off very quickly. That's, in my opinion, for acrylics, not the super best quality of oil painting. Let's have your the worst part of painting with brushes is when a lump of paint gathers in one spot. It's very difficult to remove. Usually you go for a sanding brand new. And such type of type of outcome I'm trying to avoid. That's right. Not a favorable outcome. Little by little we are moving to a right direction. Don't be discouraged. Don't. Even if you fail, you won't be able to know that you did wrong. If you won't try at least at maximum your capabilities. We're painting very nicely. It's, yeah, it's messy. For now it's a messy. I think we are going a little closer to our actual breaking point where paint really will work out. Nothing to worry about. We just started the first layer. Oh my god, I felt no dirt, no. Right, so we are painting little by little. You don't want to add much paint layer first time. It gathers like a lump in one place. Trying to make everything simple and quick by a few strokes marks. We are painting interior of the shoulder armor because I don't want to see any white parts sticking out. Yeah, this looks like a camel. Now it looks like a camel flashed. Purple is. We're going for legs now. So why I did add only a little bit of the paint in the tray? I just didn't want the paint to get dried fast. We are doing some precise painting, so we don't need a lot of paint. Use just only to see it dried out. You always can add more paint when you see what you are run out of it. So no big deal. Alright, so far I haven't diluted paint at all. I dipped brush into water. Brush had a little bit of water on it, so it went a little bit kind of diluted, but I see that we need a little bit of water. Now probably the MIG ammo uses spatial diluting solvent for a paint, even acrylic one, but I have no idea. Probably I have not see any such product. At least in the place I bought the paint set. As much as I know, as much as I aware of, the acrylic paint go with the water. Acrylics are based water paint, so camo. So people doing some crazy stuff to achieve such camo, and I'm doing this on go. Like that. Alright, proceed with leftover paint what we left. We still have a lot of paint, so there's no point in adding for now any paint at all. We go with the first layer. We do a lot of paint doesn't want to stick off at all. Surface wasn't cleaned enough properly. That's my mistake. All about, I don't remember one thing. I think these feet has that ugly joint I mentioned before in previous videos, when it raised up and shows the interior of the feet, and we don't want that either. I think something goes inside. I think joint. It's fine. It's fine. It's so messy. No, a little bit messy. Proceed to another leg. Another leg, and we do a quick paint job. Just allow leg to plastic or leg taste the paint, taste the color it will wear in the end of the day. It's quite interesting experiment when you're doing something with new stuff, new paints, for example, or you are just trying new technique. I don't know many technique, I don't know many good modelers who painted good only with brushes, so I didn't claim I am a revolutionary at that point. Nah, no way. I'm just a regular builder. Super messy, you can blame me for that. I'm doing this first time with a certain paint. We almost run out of paint, which will be refilling soon. And maybe will clean at the same point our brush. Here we go. Not very pretty, not very pretty. But I've seen worse. There were worse cases. By the way, working with a small scale model like a high grade and painting it with the brushes only, you should be very careful and delicate, because small parts gathers a lot of excess paint on them and then later requires a lot of fixing, which not always is a pretty. Ooh, I almost ran out of the paint. And comes with a various steps you should back and redone again, like sanding, like filling, cleaning, and again priming and painting. In this case I didn't prime my model. I was pretty confident the new paint will be some kind of magical stuff, magical bliss or something like such point, but so far it's a regular stuff. Price is nice, and so far it works pretty decent. So we ran out of the paint, and we covered our first half of the white parts. We need more paint. And we need to fix those ankle protectors ASAP, as soon as possible, and I will do that with adding a few drops, dropping them here, closing, it's fine, it's fine. We don't want to make a mess on the table too much possible. We're removing excess of water we don't need to. And we can proceed further. Too much paint is bad for your plastic model kit, especially when you are not aware of what this paint can do. So we grab another piece of armor, light part. This time is a knee yeah, the same effect, nothing changes, just same effect. The funny thing, I have sanded those parts. Sand nicely with 2 different grades of sandpaper. It still can't go such lumpy, which I kinda expected. Wasn't very high hopes for this paint. A little bit too milky, too leaky, too watery. We'll see how it will work out after the third layer of paint, and I will try to add the third layer of paint now during this hour, because we want to see what happens. The paint seems to dry a little bit faster than the LiHo, which I don't know is a good thing or bad thing. It's probably handy, but I want paint to cure properly. Yeah, still messy. As I mentioned before, it's just like a filter which covers the plastic and later allows to add more vibrant finish. We have a beam saber handles, which are a bare plastic. as it should be. It just doesn't have any big effect parts on it. I don't know if I can fix the regular one. I haven't tried. Alright, we're adding first layer of paint. We'll giving a try for MIG. Is it quick? Is it, I don't know how. Oh, the paint start to evolve a little by little. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. This one looks decent already, but don't trust it. Don't trust it too much. Don't trust your paint. Trust only your skills, which comes with experience. Some people can't work with airbrush. Some can't afford, just like me. Some don't know how to. They don't have experience. But such a things eventually might came up in the time given. Need to be patient. Need to be collective, focused on things you want to do. On things which are important to you. And focus on nothing else. Unless you don't want to achieve your goals easily. Aha! Another one part. And this one just sounded properly. So we won't stop very much about this one, and we'll paint this one quickly for our first layer. Like this. Yeah. It's difficult to hit very narrow spaces with such a big brush. That's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's completely fine. Here's the funny thing, a small faceplate. If you lost it, oh wow man, you're in trouble. If you step on it, you definitely break it and you're in trouble again. You should be very careful. Because looking for it might be not an option in many cases. A little bit here. Not many parts left already, so I'll be preparing. I'll be preparing for a second layer soon, which is good because we'll see how second layer will work out in this case, which I really excited about to find out. A little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah, very messy. Very messy indeed, and I will fix those narrow places later. Alright. Some grooves here. We're going further. Who said painting with brushes is easy? Show me this guy. It's not. It's not easy. Acrylics are very picky ones. Enamel a different story. Enamel usually levels up very nicely on its own, but it takes a while. And applying might be such a bitch. And enamel smells horrible. And those acrylic ones have no smell so far at all. No smell, no smell. How about that? You don't need to have an open window and listen to the noise coming from outside. You won't get dizzy. You won't get poisoned by fumes. You will be just enjoying your hobby as it is. How about that? How about this? That's a benefit, by the way, of the painting with brushes and acrylic paint. Okay. So we almost covered all white parts. Almost, because we have that one badass which needs to be a little bit cleaned because we have some noob marks, seam line, excess plastic excess left on it. Now we will be dealing with this. We will remove unwanted side. Right, let's leave first layer to cure on its own for a while, not for long. For 8 minutes probably. We'll proceed further and we'll add second layer. And I don't know, we probably will even be able to manage to add even last one, but it probably will be clearly clear if we need to add additional layer. In some cases, usually on the ordinary white, bright light type of colors like white, yellow, lime, I usually need to add more than 3 layers of the paint because those are very difficult to apply, and if you do not use any primer, those even more challenging. That's right, those even more challenging to apply because light paint segments are very, let's how to describe it, clear. They do let through a lot of light. Too transparent if you will. Yeah, we finished first layer. They allow parts dry out a little bit and cure the first paint layer until it a little bit dries out and will be a little bit more effective to apply second one, since it will be not a bare plastic anymore. I'll remove this one for now. I need to remove this one ugly line of plastic. One thing only unclear for me is how to make scheduled videos. For our audience, for our friends, for our loyal subscribers, kind of. So I can give them a little bit of time before the preparations to join me in this funny and very educational event. Well, it's not very funny actually. It's focus required and patience, taming activity. Have to tame your patience. And that will be fine, yes. So, Okay, first layer. First layer is officially over. What we're going to do now is the turntables, and we'll take a look at what have already achieved. And first part we're working with were shield. Yeah, it looks more like some ink was spilled here and there accidentally, but it's almost dried out. It's a good sign. And some spots are not very good sign because they are collected too much paint in one spot, and looks like a lump, dry out lump of paint. We can check the shoulder armor just for comparison. And shoulder armor is also has this uneven layer of paint which is bothering me a little bit. Like some camouflage painting. So you taking a head now. The head is the same case. More even though. More even though. Alright, so we taking no breaks, no breaks. We are taking our paint. We're adding a little bit more paint. Adding a little bit more paint now. Just make a little bit of fresh paint to this pool of madness. Taking our toothpick. I stirred a little bit with old paint so it won't be leveling too much. An old one. Alright, that's alright. That's alright. Taking our brush back. I'm trying now on the towel. Nice. Taking a paint as well. Again, we don't need much carry in the brush itself. And we're taking our shield again. Yeah, that's right, we're going to paint it. And now I have my speculations, which will show me how effective those paint will be. I have somehow doubts it won't be a very cool paint to work with in the future, although I might be mistaken. It goes a little bit lumpy everywhere, and here is a little bit better, but still do not sticks very much to a surface, which is not a good thing. I'm slightly disappointed. Somehow it paints nice at some point, but paint do not stick very much, so that's not a good sign. That's at all not a good sign. I don't like that. That means you will have to do a lot of additional layers. A lot, I mean more than 3 probably. I'm going against the rules. I am painting additional layers, which isn't a very good idea, which I do not prefer to do, but I will try and give a chance. We'll give a chance to this paint and we'll see how it will turn out. Worry not, I still have some saved backlog of the paint by Vallejo. I will use them eventually soon, even after this project will occur. As a result, we'll see how it will end, and I will be working on leveling up my older models. The models I built in the first years when I started collecting Goomba models. And those will be not a pretty sight actually, because back in the day didn't have any habitus, any experience. Those were on the scalpel, a real scalpel, the doctors works with, and I think some industrial nippers for metal wires. Those were brutal times in my history. I had to work with the stuff I had in hands. Had no tutorials, no internet to back me up. That's right, back in the day, in early 2000, I didn't have internet, so I couldn't check any tutorials available at the time. And I was going to do everything accordingly, step by step in the manual. It's kinda sad if you think about it. There's some good models where I didn't given a proper justice, and I need to come back and work with them. Although I did a lot of mistakes, noops haven't been removed, cut marks, a lot of sticker ones, which I trying to avoid at all costs. No stickers. Declare award those stickers. I don't like stickers at all. At least ones which goes completely on the surface. Those must be destroyed. Those are evil. And a lot of different unacceptable choices back in the day. Like painting my models with animal paint with brushes. That's right, I still have somewhere a no grade painted with brushes only. It looks horrible. At some point the paint sits very well, but in the terms of technique, it's horrible. It wasn't even doing it. Imagine that. You're painting your model with enamel paints, with no diluted paint. Oh my god, that was horrible. Smell, I still reckon remember the smell. Oof, that was horrible. If you don't know enamel paint smell, you are probably a lucky one. This breaks your head badly. Headache. Oh my god, headache. Actually, one of the worst my enemies in my life are headaches. Those terrifying headaches. When you have it, you know it. Your day is ruined. You have no any will left to fight, do anything, while you have a headache. Headache is real bad, man. Headache is evil. If we do not talk about headache right now, talk about just my little experiment I'm running on. I'm painting my entry grade Gundam with new paint, and so far I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. I will do some research later, but I have a strong feeling those paint need some special diluting agent made specially for exactly these paints. Probably. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just making a prediction. The box doesn't say anything. The box doesn't have any information. You need to dilute your paint for a better effect. You need to do that. You need to do this. No. Box do not warn you about such a thing. Box, just a box in this case. Do you throw away your boxes, by the way? Depends on what kind of box is that. If that from model, which has a very nice art, I'll keep it. If that's from a paint box or something like that, I usually dispose of that one. Throw it away. Throw it away anything you don't find anyhow applicable for some. Anyway, applicable. Oh, we proceed to a leg. Last time we saw a leg, it was all camouflaged like that. And we are now adding a second layer like this. Okay, so in this case I see a small progress. The paint start to elevate on the first layer, so that's a good thing, though I don't know how it turned out in the end. I'm still have my doubts about ammo. Will ammo carry me further in my hobby experience? I have no idea. Haven't read many reviews about armor paint, although I saw on a local internet store, not a local store, an internet store which provides modeling supplies in my country, and I said, hell, there is a discount here. Set looks nice, beside picture very interesting. Picture of some mecha which resembles a little bit of Gundam. Give it or take it, I don't know. It does resembles for me. So that much. And I ordered. Should I order it? I don't know. Will I regret it? We'll probably find out soon. But I don't want to allow much paint. I see my paint starts to dry out, but still running, still liquidy. So we do not add any water drops. We just go with a second layer as fast as we can. One stops. It looks very nice though. Usually the second layer of the darker color scheme goes a lot better, at least by Vallejo. And in this case, paint are too lazy, or I am unaware of something which need to be done before painting with this specific paint. Let's repeat myself again, but the box doesn't say anything about additional measures need to be taken before start painting your model. So we are just adding more details here and there. Details, more paint at the moment, and later we'll decide when it will dry out a bit better. I will not be adding the third layer right now. I'll be adding on the second one. and we are half through that right now. And tomorrow probably we'll review the second layer performance, and we'll start working on the third layer of paint. Maybe time will show up. Maybe time will show us some really progressive results. Maybe we need to give our paint a little bit more time to cure. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I probably won't give up my habits with Vallejo though. So far it's difficult to work with this paint. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to my best to not snap it. Snap it for my good, decent behavior. I'm just trying my best. How it will turn out will soon be witnesses of this. Well, smaller part goes very well. I don't know. Probably because paint started to dry out a little bit faster. The layer gets better and better. If you can see that these little armor pieces, well, good, not perfect, but good many times comparing to parts and painted so far. It's good, although this is just a small part of the armor and the biceps. It doesn't really represent full finished result fully. Adding some paint here and there. And we done with the first half of the parts. We'll proceed soon to the second one. Second one will be a little bit easier to paint. I am now will clean a little bit brush from an old paint. Strangely enough. Seems like paint are holding down liquid on the brush brittle. I don't know, is that a good sign or bad? Okay, so we're adding a little bit more paint. And later this evening I will try to figure out how to schedule my videos for future. Okay, enough. I know. Fixed feelings about these paints. We're mixing old leftovers with new ones. And proceed further. Soaking in and rinse. Like that. Just like that. And taking apart. So part of the parts are as well armor pieces which need to be painted down effectively. Yeah. As I said at the very beginning, that third layer is a thing. Although it's not describes a final result of painting. The third layer is just a point when you are deciding for yourself. Is it good enough to paint more or proceed further with your build? And so far, as we proceed second layer, I'm definitely sure 110% that we will be needed at a third layer definitely. Because it will be unfinished project. If paint will be just a lazy mess. Yeah. I don't like paint weapons, especially when they don't have any part separation at all. They are just look like cheap, no grades at all. But it's a part of the game, so you need those to be painted at some extent. We have this part. This part is a better paint than the previous one. Those are identical. So what's going on here? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's definitely either a plastic or either a paint. The paint doesn't want to stick very much to the plastic. From the point you see, you might say, oh, that's very nicely painted, evenly even. But from point I accept this is not good enough. I've seen worse, of course, but I've seen better results. And I want to work in the future with the stuff I can count on. That's right. But so far, Vallejo looks like our best paint to work with. I don't know. I might be mistaken. I might change my mind of that herb layer. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who'll tell? Who knows the future? Definitely not me. I am no fortune teller. I'm not some psychic or no. I'm some mutant. At least not that kind of mutant. Right. We'll take a little bit more paint. I don't know. Maybe I should change type of brushes. Nah, it can be. Type of brushes, of course, are very different. Of course, are sable ones, synthetic ones, flat, round, small tip, big tip. Of course, there do various roles in the painting, depending on situation, depending on technique you are using. But I think you can achieve a good results with any decent brushes or work with, as long as you know what you're doing. I don't know. I don't know. For 100%. I definitely not. But what do I know? We are going somewhere with this paint. All I need now to think about it and worry only about if I need it at here layer. And I have my opinion on working up with high grades and max grades. I painted only one 100 scale model, and that one is a small one actually. To heavy gun I painted recently. There's some more video. I'm not linking this one because I'm a lazy piece of shit. And I can tell from my practice that painting 100 scale kits models which are bigger and have a lot of parts are way easier because the parts are not so narrow, not so small, not collecting paint. It's easier to control flow of the paint. It's way easier. Of course, it requires a lot more effort because master grade is bigger than high grade, dam base, and that requires more effort. But not in precision. No, not in precision. And precision-wise, the high grades and small models are the ones you will be suffering much more. I like painting models with brushes, but in this case, these paint are really painful. We'll see. As I mentioned before, the second layer, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, the color is nice, but brushes do not cooperate in this one. Brush. I will go for third layer. I really don't want to go for fourth one. Reason is because a fourth layer actually adds additional amount of paint on the plastic, and it erases some tiny details. Some tiny details might be erased, covered with a big amount of paint. That's why I really don't like go beyond that here layer. Yeah, sure, of course, you could have done a little bit deeper panel lines and stuff like that, but that is additional job, first off. And second off, the plastic is not thick enough on high grades, real grades, entry grades, to start digging gold mines inside of it. So how about that? You might end up making your life even more worse than it is already. Don't make your hobby or things you adore, like, enjoy, to make a worst of you. Express only a good feelings. Express only a good energy. If you like animals, for example, dogs or cats, never associated with something bad, with negative energy, with negative feelings, with negative self, I don't know, self-awareness, such a thing. Try to spend a lot of pleasant moments with them, with animals. I mean, if you have some hobbies like a good gaming, don't relate those to negativities you encounter in your daily life, not a life. This will ruin your personality very, very quickly. Make you an old and grumpy and angry and not pleasable, and ladies won't like you, and you will be just a lot like me. Grumpy old and self-pitying, probably. I don't know. Don't mix those two things. Your feelings, your behaviors, your daily mischiefs with your favorite things you do in your life. Never mix it. If you love something, if you like painting, if you like traveling, if you have strength, if you have resources, do it. But do it only if you are in a good mood, if you are feeling good, if you know nothing bothers you. Only then you will feel pleasure 110%. Even if you are drink good booze, good alcohol, never drink it when you are in a bad mood. If you are angry, if you're pissed, if you are sad, don't drink it. It makes only thing worse. So I basically, what I did today is I painted second layer of paint by MIG Ammo acrylic color, brush and airbrush. I don't know how good this should work, because when things go evenly on some butt sections like airbrush and brushing and mixed up between, it's not always a good thing in my opinion. And I added another layer, as I repeat myself, maybe 25th time, no, maybe 26th actually. I don't see result very progressive, very cool. I might be mistaken, because I will now stop painting. Oh my god, the brush went all purple. I don't know why. A lot of segment of paint left in my hand, by the way. When I try to brush it, I usually check how paint were working, because sometimes my paint is a little bit small. It goes in some, I don't know, in some rubbery state, when paint do not sticks to anything. It just accumulates in small rubber pieces, and it's a sign that you have to stop using those paint. Just throw it away and forget about it. I know any paint do not describe use before expiration date, but I can assure you, paint are paint. Everything's get expired, and I don't remember the Vallejo coloring brittle of the brush before. No, I don't remember that one. Odd. That's odd. That's odd. We have a little bit of paint left over. Now we're gonna clean it with this towel here up, so we don't have anything left mess or dirty for tomorrow. And yeah, about painting models, as I mentioned before in layers, I mentioned I usually go for 3 layers unless I'm not satisfied. That's right. And usual result after 3 layers, not 2 but 3, is following, like this one in Google Canon. It's not perfect, by the way. It's not perfect, but it's decent plus. Very nicely done, nicely finished. Every plastic piece is painted except the joints. Who need to paint the joints? Some lump of paint left here and there, but I didn't want to bother myself. But it's painted very nicely. Backpack is also painted, because backpack of original Google Canon comes in ugly plastic color. Plastic color. It's 3-layer paint job. 3 layers. Yeah, that's right. And it looks nice. Very good. Very nice, very good. And that's the result I'm expecting from my friends from Make Us, something like that. How it will turn out, we'll see. Excuse me, pretty soon. Very pretty soon. I promise you that. That I can promise you. And that much for this evening blubbering, painting, showing that we are working with entry-grade Gundam. I will make him shine. I will make him shine. You'll see that. And that's about it. And good night. See you next time.